Yo, can you hear me? You listening to
WAW. What a week.
Eita, welcome to another episode of Wow What a Week. This week hanging out with two fellas because they are a team. They've known each other for probably just over 20 years. And also give a fun background. We don't usually have two guests at the same time, but once in a while, why the heck not? Coming up next, brand new movie. We need you to support the work they're doing.
This is Wow! What a week. What a week. Celebrity guest.
Jumping straight into it with two thespians. I first saw these fellas on TV, I think it was in 2004, 5, 6. And one of the reasons I watched was because Mangi was... Guys, please make some noise for Motlatsi Matli. Gents,
Jovicho.
if batla utlatsa. You guys are welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
How you boys doing?
Thank you for having us.
It's good to see you guys.
Man, good to see you. We're alive and kicking. It's great to be here.
Yes, sir.
Itala.
The other day, I was hanging out Le Younger Chief.
Yeah.
And he's got a song called What If.
Yeah.
What if you guys had never met at AFDA? Do you think the trajectory of your lives would have been different, or do you believe you'd have met at some stage?
I don't. Jeez, I've never thought about that. But I think it would have been different. You know? Because of where it started and the journey of it all. You know what I mean? Like, I think if we hadn't met back then, like 2004, and gone through everything that we'd gone through up until now, I don't think it would be the same. I mean, maybe we would have met later in the industry, but I don't think it would have been the same kind of bond to get us to where we came to today.
And because everything happens for a reason, I think some things are predestined to be the way they are.
Yes.
And we don't even control them ourselves. I think God makes it pop.
Sure.
We just need to arrive and be present, make decisions to go. Because I remember when I went to AFDA, now I was supposed to go Kobusole.
Sure.
And then I decided on the day before, no, Mama, I can't go there. Kilo or Kilo fly the Eric. I think Kenya.
Sure.
And my mom was like, what are you going to do? Then I knew exactly where I was going to go study. So if it wasn't for that moment,
yes,
I would have been somebody else, But the way things have been happening, I think it's only God. I'm like, yo, Manny, do you realize, like, things that we are doing, how far we've come, the dreams that we kept on talking about way back in the days.
Sure.
Now we're living that dream, It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to the army, Linda.
Is it?
I was literally caught out to go into the army.
Yeah.
But then I realized if I go to the army, they're not going to let me be a DJ.
Of course.
You see?
Yes.
So that was the difference. That if if I knew the army had a DJ option, I'd be in the army right now.
Yeah.
Well, you'd be in the brass band.
Yeah.
Or be the brass band. Kisha Prompita. Oh, fuck, that's funny. Why is it important, though, to go to an AFDA or whatever other arts college? What do you think sets you guys apart from kids who haven't gone that journey?
I think the knowledge,
Yeah.
what you learn there is incredible. But you also have to be willing to learn,
Yes.
and then you'll be able to absorb exactly what you need so that you can utilize it at the right time. So we I think we are a bit set apart from a lot of people living in the game, just because our understanding is different, the way we treat the work, you know, is different. Our work ethic also is different, and school does that, or after, particularly for us, because we shot films. So
sure.
we knew the etiquette, you know.
It's like Bolex cameras.
Yes,
You know, like
yes.
Action. Grrrr,
Yeah.
You know, now you got that sound. It's like pictures overexposed. Like, so you're cutting film, 9mm film in first year, you know. So you get to learn the process like from the roots. You
I
know?
was going to say, looking at the new film that you guys have just dropped now on EVOD, what do you look back at from after when you look at the process of you guys now have a film and you're like, shit, I'm glad I went there?
Yeah, I think it was just the you know when you're at after, you learn how to do it from
Scratch.
from scratch, you know. So
From square one.
yeah, from square one. So I think when we look at it now, it's like we went from making 2-minute movies to making these, you know, proper, you know, 90-minute films or whatever. But I think it's just knowing that what they were teaching us there in Esimaga.
Sure.
That's
It works.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember when we launched the film, we had a screening go Atlas Studios.
What is the film, by the way, just for those who don't know?
The film is a film about hope, you know, a film about a youngster who wants to make it in life. Coming of age film about rugby. This young kid is from Ezibeleni.
Sure.
And studies go Queen's College.
So the film is called Family and Rugby.
Family and Rugby.
Okay.
It's exactly that. I think, I mean, on the day it dropped, it was the most streamed film ever on EVOD.
That is wild.
You know, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
You know, it's won a lot of film awards all over the world.
Yeah, we've got a few awards.
Haliditering was.
I ain't told that. You need to watch the film, you know. I think it's one of the best movies this year.
Yeah.
We are very proud of it. So it's about rugby. It's about this kid who wants to make it to the top, but he has to deal with things in between.
The adversities of being from that kind of environment
Sure.
and overcoming them. You know?
Does he go through anything that you guys personally have had to deal with yourselves?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. You know, to make it is very difficult. You know, sometimes people see you on screen and they think it's pretty easy to just get there.
Or because you make it seem easy.
You make it look
They
easy.
think it was easy.
Yeah, but hey, there's a lot of hours that you put in, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of sleepless nights. I mean, I remember even when we were at school, like, we're always busy.
Yeah.
If it's not that rehearsal, it's this meeting, it's that movie, it's that performance. We're always innovative, you know. And even the guy goes through that.
Yeah.
He has to practice. Otherwise, if you don't practice,
Exactly.
you know.
And also you get pulled by different things, right? In different directions. So if you go too much, then you know you don't end up realizing your dream, because then you concentrate on other things and you fall off. And it's a story that we know of a lot of very talented people that have fallen off along the way because they just, you know, they went into the directions. I mean, we're not saying that we never, went into directions that we're not supposed to, but we came back. You know, we didn't overindulge. I just think it's, especially at that age, you know, it's easy to like get lost in whatever else is happening besides what you want to do. You know.
But you guys are also in an industry where, unfortunately, span is not guaranteed, and you might get 3 or 4 roles this year and then get nothing for 2 years. But by then you have a bond, you have a car, you have kids. How do you guys deal with, one, the stress that comes with that, and the forward planning that ought to happen because of that?
I think, hey, Tick, why are you looking at me though?
No, you must take it.
I think that's why it's important to be a producer.
Yeah.
You can't just be a creative who depends on other people to get paid. It's important for you to sustain yourself. You have to create your own work so that let's say they don't cast you in a movie. It's okay, you can book the market theater here, and then you shut the one-man show, oka buka, the theater dingata.
Sure.
And then you can make money. And so, re go ditrateng, re shapa.
DKH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you panda.
Sure.
And that way the stress doesn't get to you because there's always something coming in. You know, but if you're going to wait and hope, nothing's going to happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's why we became producers because, I mean, my Matli called me, I think, was it COVID or something?
Yeah, around COVID, yeah.
That's when we're like, it's not going to, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Because if we're gonna wait to get cast or you know.
I think it's about taking control also,
Sure.
you know. For me, that's what it was mostly about. Like you were saying, you know,
Yeah.
you get cast, you get called to an audition, so you're basically waiting for somebody else to say, here's your next installment or your next whatever, you know. So I think it was just, for me, it was like, we need to now take control.
Sure.
You know, take control of our lives and where they go. You know, if we want to act, then we'll write a movie where we'll all act in it. You know? There's one movie where we're all acting in it now. It's not out yet. I think it's gonna come out maybe later this year. We finally make it out of edit.
Sure.
We all in it. Thomas is in it. Lungsta is in it. I'm in it, Motlatsi is in it, writing Ngubeni is in it. So we're like, you know what, we're gonna make a
Duma
movie.
Basso is in it.
Duma
Robert
Basso.
Whitehead is in it.
You know, we're like,
It's very hectic.
let's write.
Let's write a movie for ourselves.
For ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we shoot it, then rub again.
Exactly.
You know?
It's the same thing we try and encourage, especially youngsters coming up in the hood who want to DJ. That start doing your own events. Hire yourself.
Yes.
Shy giginyana just for 100 people, kokasi, and build that, and then build on that.
True story.
Sometimes you want to be staring elsewhere, but what about frustrat. You know what I
Exactly,
mean? Your neighbors don't know if you've got this talent,
Yeah.
or that will prompita. You know what I mean?
True story.
So build your own shit.
Yeah.
So this new movie that is still on the edit floor, waiting to come out, is this still part of Back to Square One?
No, we did this one under Pop Productions.
Yes, but Thomas.
Yeah,
Thomas,
Thomas
yeah.
and Lungile. Yeah, but we're like one thing almost, you know.
Yeah.
We work together all the time. Even before we formed the company, any creative work that we'd do would do it through PAP, you know.
Ah, yes.
So would create, and then I'd get together with Thomas and Lungster, and we'd create stuff as well. With
Sure.
them, you know?
I mean, needless to say, Thomas directed Family and Rugby.
Yes.
Right, and he was saying at the premiere, it's the first time that he gets hired as a director.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because he got hired by his friends.
Yes.
You know, and being in the industry for such a long time, where you direct and produce, and to get hired by your friends, it says we've also pushed that much. You know.
Yeah.
How do we navigate the I'm hiring you because you're a friend, but also you kick ass, versus there's someone who's better than you that I'm not giving a gig because I must give you the gig? How do you guys?
The boy is good.
Yeah.
The one's like, and we believe in each other. You know.
Sure.
I know that Thomas, he's kick-ass. I mean, look, we've got an award now at the New York Film and Cinematography Festival. You know, the work speaks for itself. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, machita mangantswembo and tshwantse re be honest ora boy e a se ha boy.
Yeah.
Ka wara boy. Mare wa charona.
Yeah.
Push.
Yeah.
So you have to be honest, you know, as Machita. I think if you lie to each other,
Yeah.
Kimo di flop di banting, there's a lot of expectations. But now when you are real, and we went to school together, we rekangile kaofela ko re le dintwana, re mathaya mano, or mahotman, you know, in the game, so we trust each other's work. I
Absolutely.
believe.
And I think specifically for this film, I mean, we needed Thomas for this one. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, because I know I've never seen anybody who works as hard as that guy. you
Sure.
know. So I knew that if we don't have Thomas as the director on this one, we're gonna be in trouble.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, because we're under pressure for time. You know,
And you need someone with production experience also.
Yes.
That understands that any delay affects the bottom line also.
Yeah.
They need to understand the whole picture.
Yeah.
And Thomas has that
Yeah.
bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And he loves rugby.
Yeah.
With all his heart.
That helps also.
Yeah. We had to, we had to get it right, I mean, you'll see when you watch the film that it wasn't just like, like these sports films where people will get just like extras and then
Yeah.
and then Mateo's never played.
That actor versus
Never
they're
played
playing and there's a
football.
camera there.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's never played football or rugby in his life, so we were avoiding those things as well.
It's wild talking about how you guys started as youngsters 20 years ago. Now, I think Matli, you turned 40 last year.
Yes.
And I was like, gee, when we're black, is 40 now. You guys are not kids anymore.
Yeah, true that. But it's crazy though how like people still love that show so much till today.
That show touched me personally.
Yeah.
I was like, this is incredible TV. It's shot well. Even the grading was just right. Everything, costume was on point. Sometimes you watch a time-based production.
Yes.
Why is this guy against it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That cap can't have existed back then.
Back then,
True story.
But everything was right.
The
Attention
detail,
to detail.
the detail was on point,
Yes.
I mean, and for us, it was a great turning point in our lives.
Yes.
When we were black. Needless to say, if you look at our logo, I hope it's a picture of myself and Matli on set
in a scene.
Yeah.
Where he fumbles and I'm like, man, back to square one.
Yeah.
And
He
that's
Mangi. He says, no, we're friends now. Yes, it's Abangani. And then he's like, Abangani.
Ngani? Umuntu lo I thought simlahla phansi. Now you're man, come on.
Back
You
to
know?
square
Yeah.
one.
And so he plays such an important role. When I look at that logo, I'm like, look at where we come from. Look at where we are. You know, the brotherhood is still there. So they launched something amazing in our hearts because it was one of the most professional productions I've ever worked in.
Yeah.
The way they treated the work, right? So I mean, you can only imagine. Kana kotsile in the 70s, nehosna skondiri.
Exactly.
Per se.
Exactly.
So they went and covered the whole street.
Like
Kamobu.
So it can be authentic.
So it can be authentic.
Yes.
Got the right house, got the right people.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have to cover the danger box with like a cloth or something.
yeah. In fact, the lighting was so amazing. Remember, when they didn't even use lights.
Yeah.
They used candles.
Oh, wow.
Because the mood and the
Yes.
texture of the time
Absolutely.
was like that. So you can imagine now the level of thinking, you know. So Lorna, it really set us apart. It gave us that boost, you know. When we were black, wherever I go, Lino, Sansankili, Casper.
Casper the Fistos.
Till today, you like.
Your Fistos annoyed me though. Yo.
I
Wow,
thought-
Lebari, son. You're like, wow,
BBS.
Lebari, son.
He played it so well. Yeah, oh, no, he gets up.
Yeah.
Maruna Libo Vanda.
Also, Vele, he can come out
Yeah.
when he needs to.
I remember. Let me tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
About it. So we were shooting when we were black. no?
Sure.
So it's obviously during tertiary days.
Yeah.
You know, you go out. We're shooting on a Saturday morning, so we were out on Friday. So, you know, we're still hungover, whatever. Motlatsi is past that. He's
Sure.
sleeping. He's like, we're at the same commune.
Yes.
So he's sleeping in his room there. The driver is outside. So that time, you know, I was dating this other lady. So this guy says something to her, you know. So now a fight breaks out, right? So now I'm still like half drunk. We're
Yes.
on our way to work. I grab this guy. There's like a fight in the street. Motlatsi comes out. He doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
He's still trying to like find himself to sleep. He just joins in the fight. He's swinging there. He doesn't even know who this guy is. Why are we fighting this guy?
So this is before you go to set?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
before.
wow.
The driver is looking at us like, hey, Bafetu, man.
Yeah.
Kena ngakulunga.
I'm like, wait, maybe I did the situation fast because. Yeah, hey, fun times.
Fuck.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
In fact, speaking of your brotherhood, I made you guys write a test before we went on air.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with questions Motlatsi answered about Matli.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Is he a tits or bums guy? You said he's a bums guy.
Yeah.
My kind of guy. Tits are overrated. Yeah. One not no formula, it's fine.
Mark, you are Varne, boy.
Yeah. No, you got that one. That one is right.
Would Matli agree to a couch casting to get a life-changing role? And you said no, he wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
I think Matli's an honorable guy, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
and I think the older he gets, like, he's becoming sharper by the day. His moral code is even intact.
Yeah.
Baba. Maybe back in the days, I don't know. But now I'm...
Back in the day, he would have done it even for no role.
Take one for the team, boy. Take one for the team in Tanaka.
Hey, baby. People grow.
Even if he didn't get the role, so baby, what do you say? Would polygamy ever be an option for Matli?
I was caught up with this answer, but my answer was no. And then until Khotiwa, if the partner agreed,
Yeah.
So is that a yes?
Yeah, look, it's like almost yes.
But what?
I think it would have to be done in a certain way. Like everybody would have to be in an agreement.
Obviously, yes.
The elders agree to it and all those things. But if it came to that situation, then yeah, I would.
If he found you in a fight, would he ask questions or jump in and ask later? And he says you jump in.
Oh yeah, jump in immediately.
most definitely.
In fact, you answered the question already because you've done this before.
Yeah, no, ask questions later.
Yeah, we'll find out what was the issue.
Does he forgive easily or holds grudges for life? You forgive easily?
Yeah, I do forgive. I'm a sucker for sorry. If you say sorry and you mean it, then it's over.
You're a bigger man than I am, dude. Like me, I keep quiet, eh? But you will pay.
Eventually.
It might not be now, it might even be in 20 years. That's how petty I am.
Yeah,
That's how petty I am. I could even wait 20 years.
well,
Yeah.
Klator.
Yeah.
Ulbambe lingasho.
And you won't even know it was me.
Hectic,
You wouldn't even know it was
fresh.
me. No, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Matli, questions about Motlatsi. Is he a tits or a bums guy? So, no, bum bums.
Ditulo.
Yeah.
Reba tuli ditulo.
Would he agree to a couch casting to get a life-changing role? But no honorable.
I want to believe so.
Yeah, I was like, nah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, no. I think Motlatsi is like similar to Thomas, is like one of the hardest working people I know. you
Sure.
know, And everything that he gets, he gets because he's worked hard for it
Yes.
and like he's planned for it. You know what I mean?
How about Angfagera?
Yeah, no, none of that, and like very, very resilient as well, like it's like if this thing is going to work, I'm gonna make sure and work hard at it to work, So body couch casting, it wouldn't be his thing. No.
I guess this was answered 20 years ago. If he found you in a fight, would he ask questions or jump in and ask later?
He jumped in.
Drunk and all. And finally, does he forgive easily or grudge for life? And you said he forgives easily.
Yeah.
So you're a forgiver, Lynn.
I think, Matli, right.
Yeah.
You know, if you say sorry and you mean it, let's move on.
What if I said sorry and then I repeat the transgression? What happens after
Look,
that?
sir, I mean, I'm a reasonable person. You know, some people are going through a lot.
Sure.
And mentally, we are not all the same.
Some of
But
us
hona
are
le motho o
rashlanya.
tenang,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, or some of you are.
Some of us rashlanya.
Hona le mahlanya.
Yeah.
And Modimo already built in different ways. So
Exactly.
sometimes I give you a tap of how we hang. Right? But when I'm over, say, I'm fed up.
Sure.
We can't do this. Once I turn my back on you, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Just distance.
Yeah.
What does loyalty mean to you guys?
For me, loyalty is made up of different things. You know, there's consideration, there's respect in there, and also there's like a friendship bond. You know, for me, I think it encompasses all those things. You know, if I say I'm loyal to somebody, you know, it means that this is somebody that I love, somebody I consider, you know, and this is somebody that I respect as well, you know. So if I have all those things towards somebody, then I'm loyal to that person. You know?
So how do you deal with betrayal then? Let's start with you.
Like, because I forgive very easily, I have to heal myself. I have to forgive myself for allowing myself to go through whatever that you've taken me through if you betray me.
Especially if I allowed it.
Yeah, because you are the one who decides how you're going to feel.
Yeah.
You know? However, I'm able to cut you out of my life because I believe in loyalty, unity, brotherhood. You know, because that's what it takes to make a great team.
Yeah. That's one of the lines from the movie.
You know,
I was going to say, niggas quoting movie lines.
no, it's one of the lines from Family and Rugby. You know, but I think no man is an island. You know, we all falter, we all make mistakes, and it's allowed.
Sure.
But we need to have each other's backs as Machita, you know.
Yeah.
And in our generation, all we have is each other, you know. So if anyone betrays us, we'll have a chat. But if you don't want to turn your ways, man, bending.
On the flip side of that, how important is brutal honesty? Because there are solid friendships that are not necessarily built on brutal honesty. Sometimes they're built on, I know how to navigate you
Around,
versus if it's time for kunyele.
Yeah, I think our relationship, I would say our friendship is brutal.
Yeah.
There's times when, you know, whatever it is, whether it's work or whatever, it'll be like, yo, this is rubbish. You know, this is not what you were supposed to do.
When was he the most brutally honest to you and you felt it for the shit?
Jeez, I need to like, go back in this 21 years.
And also edit out some.
Yeah,
Be careful.
Already there's a lot of tape on the ground, on the floor.
True story.
I think it will probably be maybe when we were in our early 20s, and it's just it was always a behavior thing for me, you know, because like Motlatsi says, I mean, I wasn't always as sound-minded as I am now, you know. So it would always be like, yo, if you carry on with this behavior, this is how you're gonna end up.
Basically, you're fucking up.
Yeah. Stop fucking up, you know. Basically, you know. I think it was just always.
Are you able to tell us some of those fuck ups?
No, I mean not all of them. I think it was just the excessiveness of like the booze, you know, intoxication, you know.
You were a lot.
Yeah, it was sometimes, and then it turns into like you know, like you get drunk or whatever you're doing at that time, right? Because we're kids, you know, trying out many things, but then it makes the behavior vile, you know. So that's why Motlatsi hated that, you know. He was like, I hate the side of you, you know. Like there's no way that you'll become anything if this is how you treat people when you are on these things or on these substances or even the liquor and whatever, you know.
And then when does he ever onyele about anything?
Yeah, I mean, here and there.
Yeah.
I think now, before he Nasida,
Sure.
because he was the one who was a mess.
Hey, because you're always in trouble, like, how are you going to tell me anything?
On a leverage, yeah. But now, sincerely, I would be more serious.
Isele skun pampirinyana.
But he does, you know, like about Kaspani, like, oh, money, we said we're gonna do this and this and this, you know. He's much more focused and driven, but he's very honest.
Sure.
Wabo? But it's nothing hurtful or it is what it is. You said you're going to do this thing and it didn't happen. What's up? No, come on.
Okay, so basically we sweep nothing under the carpet.
Yeah. Wabo?
Yeah, you don't leave things unsaid.
Sure.
Yeah.
Making movies, guys, it's not easy. It's not pop and place. I mean, the final product might look all gravy and everything else, but what would you say the one big challenge that almost had this movie not come out was?
Not come out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever. I never had a moment where I felt like the movie won't come out.
Yeah.
Only, I suppose, in the beginning when we were pitching, right?
Sure.
When you know, when you get the assurance but you don't have the.
So you're pitching to whom?
To EVOD.
Okay.
To EVOD, right? So only then where, you know, you get the verbal agreement to say, no, it's good. It's good. You're gonna be fine. This thing, you're gonna do this thing, and then the wait for it was where you like, maybe they've changed their mind. Maybe they don't want to do this movie anymore. But once we got.
So are you pitching for funding at this stage?
Yeah. So we're pitching for them to commission the film. So once they agreed and everything was we were so determined to make it happen that there was nothing that could stop it from
the
happening.
train was going to move regardless.
Yeah, either
You
way.
know what? We decided, we're very clear with this film. In fact, with Back to Square One, we're like, all right, we've trained enough, we've helped other people do the work, now it's our turn, let's rock and roll. Here's a film, read it, worked on it, like, this is money. Let's run with it, you know? And just because we believed in each other, and there was no room for it's not gonna come out.
Sure. By hook or crook.
By hook or crook. Listen, the film is really incredible.
Yeah.
You know, even the way we shot it, you won't believe. Because it's that. You must remember, we took about 100 people to Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
You know, and we stayed
already there's a production and a half.
Bleeding.
Not even a circus carries that many people.
No.
You know?
Yeah. We're staying there for weeks. Really, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously every day is problem solving. You know, but we always knew it. Every day after rap, we'll be like, yo, man.
Yeah.
We think that's
We're doing
something
this
hot.
thing. Yeah.
Cheers.
One day in the bag.
One day.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
How does working under pressure like that test your friendship and your regard for one another as brothers?
I think it's at that point where you see how, you know, the mutual respect, you know, because it doesn't matter what kind of pressure you are in, you know what I mean, you still need to address these things in a certain
And it's like a marriage.
Yeah,
There'll come a point where you realize whether you made the right choice or not.
Yeah. And you know, working on this film, we saw that, you know what, with this team that we got here, we can make a lot of things work here, you know, because we face a lot of things, you know, shooting away from Joburg comes with a lot of things, you know, because not everything is readily available.
Sure.
You know, and
you can't go to Konka on a Monday.
You can't. But you can't go shoot at Konka also.
What's the one thing shooting family and rugby taught you about this man here?
Resilience.
Yeah.
and Matli is very intelligent, you know, and once he believes in something, he goes all the way. You know, I think it taught me that. I think that's when I realized that snap Matli o godile botlhoko.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and he's a super brother. So we play like good cop, bad cop, when without even saying it.
Yes.
You know, and so it was like, yo, I actually have like a super brother here. You know, and he's very intelligent.
Sure.
One thing I learned is too smart. He knows how to solve problems faster than anyone can say there's a problem.
Yeah.
And you know, it's wild and dope at the same time having someone like that in your corner.
Yeah.
I've got a friend like that since we're 18, where if anything goes wrong, as long as I'm with this dude, I worry about nothing.
Yeah.
If the car breaks, I know he'll fix it.
Yeah.
If the wheel came off while the car was moving, I will not even panic because I know that Armstrong will sort it out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's very solutions driven.
Yeah.
So you tell him your problem once. After that, we don't even talk about we have a problem because now we're in solution mode.
Yeah.
And I think we all need a person like that in our
True.
lives.
In our corner.
What did you learn about Motlatsi on this shoot?
Well, I think it's just enhanced a lot of things that I already knew about him.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, that was make sure.
Yeah, I just make sure. You know. Yeah, you know, because I'm like Motlatsi's like he's like an obsessive genius, right? So like when we're in it, you know. But I know that about him. But you know, now that when we're working on this film, it was like, you know, it's like, no,
like a
I have
mad
to do this.
scientist.
Yeah, like a mad scientist. That's exactly what he is. You know, he's a mad scientist. You know what I mean? I also learned. I mean, we've got a mutual respect for each other, but I also learned how much consideration he has for me, you know, which I mean, it's heartwarming, you know, when I think about, like you were saying now, we speak about Armstrong, that when I think about the people that I would always want to have in my corner, it's Motlatsi and Thomas, you know, and I know if something has to be done and I leave it up to Motlatsi, I know that Motlatsi is gonna and he's gonna go in on it, you know. For example, when we're having days where we have to have meetings now because we can't make up the day, or
yes.
we need to start structuring the thing. Sometimes I wouldn't even go to that meeting, you know, because I know Motlatsi's
He's got it.
and I know he's going to,
Yeah.
you know, he's gonna light a fire up their ass. You know what I mean? And like, I don't even have to be there. You know, and I trust him, fully. You know, so I think it just enhanced a lot of things that I knew about him already. You know.
Obviously, one movie in the bag, but it's a long journey, a lot of challenges. What's your one big dream for your industry right now?
To get regulated.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I learned a lot shooting a film.
May I interject?
Yeah.
All of you are singing that song.
Yeah.
Why is no one listening?
Because they don't care. And also because they're controlled by other forces. Right? So until you understand the game, you'll realize, oh, snap, they are also not in control. The same people that you're crying to, they're not in control, you know? So it's either you have to accept the situation and then make it work for you. But like I was going to say, one thing I learned about shooting a film or producing a film, you know, like we want to be fair, you know, like, man, people must be paid properly. We need to be fair. Let's not ask you know, until when you do, then you do it, ne? And then at the end, then you like snap.
Yeah.
Because you're fair, right?
Yes.
Then the business doesn't operate.
Sure.
So you kind of have to know how to balance the two. You know, so for me, I mean, it's one thing that I learned, and I would love the industry to get regulated. I won't stop talking about it because, I mean, until one day it cracked, you know. But I was just pleading to the powers that be to like, yo, listen to us.
Yeah.
And we are so incredible. Look, if you look at our talent, we should be multi-millionaires by far. If you look at the work that we do, it's incredible. The world is looking at us, but we don't look at ourselves. You know,
It's like
and
the world
we don't
sees us
appreciate.
more
Yeah,
than
we don't
we
appreciate
see
our own.
ourselves.
You know, so I would change that mentality.
Sure.
You know, and if we get regulated, at least we'll be seen. You know, I mean, the fact that what about the medical aid,
Yeah.
the artists, about the police. Go botlhoko.
And residuals. I mean, if when we were black, if we were to be licensed to another network and play ad nauseum, you guys will never even see a cent, will you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, SABC is not
yeah,
bad.
SABC used to.
They used to, no?
They used to do that.
Used to.
I remember
Then what happened?
The funds are
they
gone.
said Chelete Joué or something.
wow.
You know.
E jelwe ke motho. So le motho o tshwantse a be le nembeza or a cheka nnete. Stop.
You know.
I see why you let him go to the meetings.
Yeah. I don't have to do nothing. I'm just like, Motlatsi will speak.
It's like back end, boy.
Ah,
That's right.
Matli, your one dream or hope for your industry?
My dream is for the industry to gain. I just wish, like, you know, because especially I'll speak mostly on the acting industry.
Yes, sir.
I wish that my fellow actors could start their own things, you know, and stop being dependent on, you know, other production companies for doing that thing. I wish they could, like, come together, have ideas, start the production, you know, register the production company and push, and eventually you'll get something as a production company. I just feel like we are actors becoming, you know, get into such like dire situations, you know, because of depending on somebody else to make, you know, to make their lives happen, if you may, you know. So I just wish, like, my fellow actors and actresses in the industry could, like, think more independently and think more like entrepreneurs, you know, because like we're saying now, you know, we'll speak about being regulated, and we've been, like you said, we've been singing this song forever and nothing's happening, you know, and you get people that haven't worked for 2 years, people that haven't, you know, people that are in very bad situations. So I just, for my wish is to like try work towards independence as actors and actresses.
I'm seeing there's even a market now for short films on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
No, as in I'm seeing little short films.
Oh.
Guys are shooting like 10, 20-minute films.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if you've got the talent and you've got a decent camera, maybe start even making your own content at that level.
Yeah.
True
Don't
story.
wait for about guys pan.
Exactly.
True
Exactly.
story. You know, I mean, I enjoy TikTok so much now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never used to enjoy like social media and all the jazz. But it's amazing there. It's like it's a whole broadcasting station.
Sure.
You know, and you just make a name for yourself. And then before you know it, people get booked. People, I mean, look at the podcast. No, now they're on television. It's because of a trend.
Sure.
Right? So push that thing. You know, I think once you wait for someone to call you,
Women are casting, and the casting is not arriving.
I always say, whatever that we need
Yeah.
to make things pop, we have it.
We already have it.
We already have it. So connect.
For short, fella, now the will and the discipline.
Yes, sir.
Keep at it.
That's it.
Yeah, that consistency is
Yeah.
key. You know,
Yeah.
that's another thing. Like it can get discouraging. You know,
Absolutely.
but if you are consistent, then eventually you crack it. You know, yeah.
Guys, we are out of time, but I'm watching this right now, or I'm listening to it. I want to watch Family and Rugby. How do I support you guys?
So there's different ways.
Yeah.
So you can watch it directly online.
Okay.
You just do, you know, their website, the link, the www.evod.co.za.
Okay. EVOD.
EVOD.
Okay.
It's a free download. Just sign up using your phone number and you're in, you know.
Okay.
Or you can download the app, just like any other app, any other streaming app. download it onto your TV, onto your laptop or your phone, EVOD in your app store, and you're in. Also, it's free. You know,
Sure.
you don't have to worry about monthly subscription fees. Support the film. I think it's a great film.
Support the film because there's great actors. We have Bobongi, Mantsai, we've got Anele Madoti, Kay, Bikisha, Ayanda, Makai. We've got youngsters, Reason, who's there, and Tafaya killing it. You know, we've got Zandile Msutwana. It's a brilliant cast.
Yes.
You know, support it because it's a black story. You know, that's been told. Yako Ezibeleni, black people playing rugby. It's incredible, and support it because it's done by Machita Back to Square One, Motlatsi Matli, and a season just a game. You will love this film, trust me.
Will there be a sequel?
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, yeah. We're working on something right now.
Sure.
Maybe not a sequel of a movie, but
Batlogel.
okay. I've been saying too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we find you guys on social media? If we want to give you feedback about the movie, give you ideas. Maybe I've written a screenplay and I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Matli Mohapeloa and on X or Twitter at Matli Mohapeloa as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Motlatsi, everywhere. Motlatsi Mafatshe, but you at Latsi 83 on Instagram. We also have Back to Square One page.
Yes, sir.
On Instagram, you can inbox us. You can
Yeah, so
just
at
comment.
Back to Square One Films.
At Back to Square One Films. Yeah, and I mean we're not only Shapali music. You like latela more than to
Yeah, Mo and Gabby.
When
We've
Gabby
got-
were
got
doing
the
some
songs
nice
out
stuff.
now.
We got a new song, Pelele Ngawe.
Yeah.
It's popping.
Yeah.
The other one, I think
Peanuts
it just
Amanyalo, hey, it's a
Ranyadi Sadla Mfana.
Yeah, but you need people to be in love to make such songs.
What would I-
Hey, as a matter,
So you can just find us everywhere on social media.
Absolutely. Fellas, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
For your talent, for 20 years of consistency.
Come on.
Because often we downplay the consistency part of people who get to where you get to. We almost make it seem like, these ones are getting special favors. And you ignore the fact that these guys have been fucking putting in the work for 20 years.
True story.
Wherever they are is where they ought to be, and if anything, they should even be eating at a bigger table than they're eating at right now.
Come on.
So shout out to you guys for that.
Thank you, Fresh, for
Yes, sir.
having us.
Family and Rugby on EVOD, evod.co.za. Go check it out. Give them feedback. Show them love. And but squeeze it in. Just squeezing in, gents. If you need a DJ in one of your movies, squeezing in.
Or a soldier.
Don't know about okay, yeah, or a soldier. Yeah? I can be the guy with a big gun, but I keep doing nix.
Oh man, this is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. for having
Ladies and
us.
gentlemen, please support them and big them up for going back to square one, because often you need to go back to square one to realize who the fuck you are so that you can perform at the level at which you should be performing in the first place. Please make some noise for Motlatsi Matli.